We're seeing food shortages. We are seeing power concerns. Weather is only getting weirder. Financial tension, don't even get me started. Most people are ignoring the signs, but not us. Hey friends, I'm Heidi, the heavenly minded homemaker. It is my goal to encourage and equip you to live a life of peace, of purpose, and abundance. I believe in homegrown revival, and today's video is another step down that narrow path. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button and say hello to Tony Macaroni.
Say hello to Mr. Benjamin. Yeah, it's okay. You're just a sweet little cuddly buddy, huh? You're just a sweet little cuddly buddy. Yes you are. You don't know what it is to be snuggled and loved all day, huh? Yeah. You're such a sweet little buddy. Little Benny. Benjamin Bunny. The little buddy. Yeah, it's okay.
So if there's one thing I'm seeing in the comments quite frequently, it is that while you and I might be actively realizing these things, talking about these things, trying to figure out how to go forward with all of this, when we try to bring this up in other circumstances of life, people either think that we're absolutely crazy, we are just off our rockers on this, or they're in just absolute denial about it all. And I think that sometimes that becomes almost a little, I don't know, disheartening, intimidating, whatever term you might put with it, for you to continue to move forward. But I think as women specifically, the heart of the home, there is something so important about being alert, aware, informed, prepared, and all with a attitude of peace. And I think that when we see that at the core of the home, be it from mom, from the wife, from the grandma, from the dad, whatever it might be. I think usually it's us ladies who are here kind of talking about this, but not necessarily, I understand. We need to take these topics seriously. And I have a feeling that if you're clicking on a video like this, you probably are, even if you're just in the beginning stages. But so many aren't. And we have to understand this, because everywhere we look, I feel like we're seeing just system failure, right? Insert any, I think of like early 90s movies where, some drastic thing has happened and the whole control room is like melting down. I mean, that's what it feels like just observing our world today. Inflation is out of control. I had one comment of somebody who said, inflation is not real, prices are not going up, things have only gotten less expensive. And so many of you jumped on the comment before I could, because I was like, where do you live? Like, I'm just going to come live where you live. I'm going to shop where you shop. What are you talking about? Inflation has been growing for years, and inflation is always happening, okay? It's never not happening. But the rate that it's been happening at just seems astronomical. And while I feel like we've started to see some things kind of shift a little bit and try to retract a little bit, which is great, I'm very thankful for that, prices are out of control. I mean, I know even here in our little quiet town that we live in Western North Carolina, housing prices since 2020 are out of control. When we first moved here, it was because it was so little and small and affordable. And the prices are through the roof. I mean, you look at these different areas now with all the concern of what the tariff system is going to do. And whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, we're already starting to see some, some warning signs and kind of, hey, you might want to get prepared that shelves are going to be empty, prices are going to be impacted, the supply chain and everything that we're used to receiving in the way that we're used to receiving it is going to change. And whether it ends up being worse, better, or still just kind of the same, there's going to be a change. There's going to be an impact in the way that you and I do normal life each and every day. And I think the more that we just pay attention to not only the financial impacts, supplies, food chain, housing prices, right, things like that, honestly, just looking at the moral lack and cultural divide right here in our own country. To see a country so divided, people so on the other end of one another. My husband and I just got back from a trip, and even sitting on the plane and making small talk with people, it's funny to watch the what do I say? What do I bring up? I don't know where you are. I'm not trying to start something. How do you even small talk with other people? I mean, it's in so many ways. I mean, even little things. It seems like the world is only getting more and more divided, more and more uneasy, more and more stretched thin, and more just unreliable in all the areas of life that we have to go through. So if we're aware of this, we see that it's happening, we can see the signs of this just crashing all around us, right? The control room is flashing little button lights and alarms are blaring. What do we as homemakers do? Why does this matter? Is this a big deal, right? If you're watching this, you're I know, but I'm just a little old me. What does that do? I think it does matter. And I think it actually matters the most to a homemaker than probably really anyone else. Why should homemakers care? Why should us little women, whether we work outside of the home or we're home full time, we're maybe homeschooling, we've got little tiny ones that are still in diapers, we're trying to do whatever it is that we are trying to do. Why on earth does it matter that we are alert and prepared and looking at truly the signs of the crashing all around us? I truly do believe that it matters, and it really does begin with us, because as the homemakers, as the wives, the moms, maybe it's grandmother, we are the heart of the home. When we really look at what it means to keep our homes, to build up our homes, again, whether you are home full time, you work outside of the home, right? Homemaker doesn't mean you just stay at home all day. It's not just stay at home mom, stay at home wife. Not that those are things to be slighted at all, but that's not it. It means one who makes a house a home. And as that heart of the home, that foundation stone that should be firmly rooted upon the word of the Lord and truly building up her home in a way that is going to be everlasting. And it's something we've been talking about in our members group as we've been doing our Revival Begins at Home series. And again, if you're interested in more on this topic, you guys can always come and check that out and join us for that study. Everything that we are going to go through in life begins at home. Think of it, right? Why do you think therapists ask, well, what was your childhood? What was home like growing up, right? What was going on? That shapes and impacts who you become. And so then when we look today, look at anybody out in the world, right? Anybody that you've come across in any form of existence today, whether it was someone online, someone in the grocery store, a coworker, your own children, right? Whatever it is. what's going on at their home is severely impacting every other area of their life. If someone has a really good home life, that has a huge impact, in the positive usually. Somebody has a really negative home life. They're arguing with their spouse all the time. They're dealing with major financial issues, right? They don't feel safe. They don't feel loved, right? Whatever the case may be, that is going to really, really impact and hinder their life everywhere else that they go. And so when we are looking at a world that seems to be just crashing and burning all around us, I mean, however you feel politically, however you feel really on about any hot topic that's out there today, it's chaos out there, okay? I'm not a person who watches the news. I don't recommend that you spend your time doing that, but turn it on for 5 minutes and you are just going to hear so much chaos. If all of that noise is happening in the world, all of that uncertainty, all of that negativity, if all of that is what's going on, don't you want home to be that safe haven? To be that place that truly roots everyone in it on a firm foundation and realigns that compass so that way we know what actually matters and what we're doing in this lovely and just so temporary life here on earth? I think of the Proverbs 31 woman, I mean, it seems so cliche sometimes, but how do you not look at her and of course see the strength and the dignity, but her diligence to just prep. I mean, she was prepared. She had it together. Those things were important and she was intentional about them. And then I think it's so important because we look here kind of holding that mirror up in front of ourselves as homemakers and go, where am I at on this? If all of this is going on in the world around me, how am I addressing that? And how am I pouring into my home, regardless of what my circumstances are? Hello, sweetheart. Whatever my situation is, whatever season of life that I am in, how am I addressing that right here at home? Because if I'm kind of the heart of this here, and it is my God-given duty to tend my home first, yeah, that makes all of this really, really important. Now, don't feel overwhelmed with that, okay? I know sometimes you talk about this and you go, oh, well, I have dropped the ball on about every front. I know, trust me, I am not Superwoman either, okay? What can we do about this? I think we can actually do a lot. And you don't have to fit a certain age range. You don't have to fit a certain income bracket. You don't have to really have anything. There are no pre-qualifications. This is what I think we need to focus on. Because the absolute very last thing I want you to do is to think that all hope is lost and it's game over and you're too far behind and you can never catch up, so just give up, okay? That's not it, I promise you. There are so many small, little, teeny tiny things that we can start doing today that add up and compound and return amazing dividends to our lives and our preparation. Hello, buddy. Hello. Yes, I love you. To our preparation, to our day-to-day lives, to the future and longevity of what it's going to take to get through potentially the greatest depression, whatever sort of recession, cultural changes, things that we have going on. Let's just be honest, there's a lot of them. It's gonna take us probably making some changes. Hello, big buddy. You taking care of your little sheepies? Hi, Ruth. Hello, love. Yes, you just couldn't help but get some lovin's, huh? Hi, Ruth. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mama. The weather is just stunning right now. So beautiful. Happy sheepies. And doggies, huh? Huh, Teddy boy? You're such a good boy. So what do we do? Practically. I think we stock up. Think of the core things that you need to survive, to live. Whether it's some sort of crazy and insane weather event that happens, like we went through last year with Hurricane Helene, it's prices going up, it's unexpected job loss, it's the fact that we could go through a very real period of time, think back to COVID, where shelves are empty. We can't get things. Normal things you're used to having, you're not going to be able to get. Or there's going to be a serious delay, or there's going to be a serious change in price, or whatever the case may be. Are you prepared for that? There are little things that we can do to pick up a little extra. And if you want to know more about ways that our family is doing that, leave me a comment and let me know. Because we're definitely looking at ways that we can practically and affordably be building up our prepared pantry. Do you have extra water on hand? For those of us that have, a farm full of animals, do you have extra food on hand? If you have medicines, things that you rely on, do you have extras on hand? What can you do now? What skills can you learn that can help you to be a little more prepared, a little more able to accomplish things with our own hands and not rely so heavily on these systems? What about your health? Do you feel like you are decently healthy? Or are you like the average American who eats too much processed food, has too much weight that they probably should be losing, hardly gets outside, can't spend much time walking, and is reliant upon a ton of prescription drugs? Now, again, I'm not saying that to be mean. We all have our areas that we need to work on in this, but these are those things that as a homemaker, I am seeing these only become more and more important as all of this chaos is going on in the world today. And I'm going, man, these are areas that I really need to work on, because I'm really thankful and I'm really cushy and comfortable in my life here today. I rely on things to just be there. I rely on things to just happen. I want my 2-day deliveries, right? Like, I expect these things. But that's not always going to be the case. And I think when we start to really look at this and go, wow, do I rely on the world systems too much? Do I really expect things to just be there too often? Do I think too frequently that, well, I have tomorrow. Maybe I'll get healthier then. Maybe I'll start eating better. Maybe I'll start, tackling our debt and having healthy menu plans and whatever they might be, right? We keep expecting that time's going to come, while essentially letting days and weeks and months and years just pass us by with nothing really dealt with, nothing really impacted, right? Nothing really changed. And so if we are going to be the heart of the home, if we are going to truly move forward, understanding that there is chaos happening all around us, right? The world has gone mad. And I think it's only going to get madder. And anybody who spends any amount of time in scripture, we look at this and go, yeah, seems like we're, clucking along right on time here. I don't want to rely on those systems. I don't want to rely on things that I have no control over. I can't control the prices. I can't control the availability. So how about I start finding ways to maybe live a little more simply, to learn to work with my own hands, to not rely on the world's systems as heavily as I do, knowing that the Lord is the ultimate provider in all ways. And when we go to His Word, we truly are a revival that begins at home. It's amazing the difference that makes in literally every aspect of our lives. And so you and I, as little old homemakers, little old me, my little old yard, right? And I got my sheep, I got my chicken and my ducks, and we now got a bunny, and doing our little things. That's all it takes. It takes the willingness of simple, ordinary people who are willing. That willingness, willing, okay? That means that we can be intentional, that we can do the best that we possibly can each and every day, and trust that the Lord will bless it and grow it. So as the world continues to crash down all around us, we don't have to be caught up in the fire, burning down with everyone else. You don't need to panic. Far, far from it. But we do need to prepare. So why not do it together? Because I know it can feel really, really overwhelming. And sometimes we don't know where to start or what to do. And I know it can be intimidating sometimes because I've been feeling that way when I get online to look for ideas and they're already at step 100, but I'm at step 1.5. What do I do? If you want to see more along those lines, you guys can check out this playlist right up here. This is what I've been doing going through all of this. Be sure that you subscribe and turn on your bell notifications to see these videos because we're going to keep this conversation going. When you like and you comment, the more you interact, you check out the daily posts, that's going to show YouTube that you want to see these types of videos and they'll start putting them in your feed more. I'll see you all right up here in these videos and of course, back in the next one. Bye, friends.